Hello student, welcome back to our science lecture. It's an activity session actually. In first session, we discuss about force, then forces due to interaction and effect of forces. In effect of forces, we discuss how force is responsible for changing the state of motion. How force is responsible for changing the shape of an object, for changing the size of an object, for changing speed of the object, and even for changing the direction of an object. Today we are going to discuss about kinds of forces. There are two kinds of forces. Before starting with today's session, I just wanted to take few name of the student who created very beautifully PPT videos, and I got those videos. That is Mohit from 8F. Very good efforts he has taken. Kashyapi Bole also very good, very command on her words, tones, superb. Shreya Shetty also very good. Vinay Jaiswal from 8H. All these students are very good in their PPT videos. I really wanted to appreciate them first. Now today, let's move towards the first point, that is, what are different kinds of forces. Before starting with the kinds of forces, I just wanted to show you a small video clip. Go through that video. So, in kinds of forces, first there is contact force and second type is non-contact forces. First, let's differentiate between contact forces and non-contact forces. You have seen few examples in a video clip just before. In that video clip, you have understood there's something similar in all those activities. That is, they are all come in contact with each other. Means what? Contact forces are nothing but they act only when the object comes physically in contact with each other and brings about changes. Now these contact forces are of three main types. First one is muscular force, second one is mechanical force, and third one is frictional force. Let's discuss first with the muscular force. In muscular force, what happens? We in human being, even animal, are used for transportation. Human beings do number of activities: lifting, plucking, cutting, holding, throwing. Number of activities we do. Even the animals are used for transporting materials. So what is used there as a force? Our muscles are in use. That's the reason it is called as muscular forces. Our second type of contact force is mechanical force. What is meant by mechanical force now? So the force which is happening with the help of machine. Machine does not create force on its own. Then who is there? So energy should be provided to the machine. Then only it act force on that certain object to move it. Just like, take an example of a car. To start the engine, we need to add energy as in the form of fuel. Then only machine will start. This is what mechanical force works. One more example of a mechanical force is sailboat. What happens during that? So a sailboat uses wind energy to produce the force which moves the sailboat. the next type of contact force, that is frictional force. The force which always opposes the motion of one body over the other body in contact with it is called frictional force. Let's take an example of a rolling ball. It will stop when there is a force of friction after some time. In case of bicycle, even car, when you switch off, it comes to reduce motion and then it will get stopped. Why? Because of the frictional force. So this is all about the frictional force. Let's see an activity how frictional force works. Student, now we'll discuss about the contact forces and its type. We'll discuss now about the non-contact forces and its type. Before discussing with the types of non-contact forces, it is very important to know what is meant by non-contact forces. Definitely from its name, you understood that there must be not physical contact between the two objects. That means what? Non-contact forces. Now we'll see the first non-contact force, that is magnetic force. Before discussing the magnetic force, we'll see one video clip how the repulsion and attraction takes place between the magnets, creating the magnetic force. Let's have a look. Hope you understood from the activity just now I share with you that what is meant by magnetic forces. Our second type of non-contact force is electrostatic force. What is meant by electrostatic force? So when there is repulsion between two similar charges and attraction between opposite charges, that condition is nothing but known as electrostatic force. Let's have a look how electrostatic force happens with the help of an activity.
Take a balloon, inflate it. Now tie up the open end with the help of a thread. Take a white paper, cut it into small pieces. Place the small paper pieces on the table. Take a balloon and rub it with another paper. Now bring the balloon near the pieces of paper. Observe the changes. In this activity, we observe that there is an attraction between the balloon and the paper bits even though the balloon is some distance away. Finally, we say that when the balloon is rubbed with a paper, it acquires an electrostatic charge on its surface. The balloon is now said to be a charged body. When it is brought near the bits of paper, the pieces acquire opposite charge and will rise and cling to the balloon. The force exerted by a charged body on another charged or uncharged body is known as electrostatic force. This force comes into play even when the bodies are not in contact. It is an example of a force at a distance.
Now let's move toward the last type of non-contact force, that is gravitational force. According to Newton, all objects in the universe exert a force on the other object. That is called as gravitational force, or you can say gravity. Earth is not only the planet where gravitational force exists. Even in the space, if you see, all the planets have their own gravitational force. That's the reason they are rotating along their own axis. If you see on the earth, a river, water in the river, it flows downward. Apple from the trees comes downward. Human, if we jump, we goes downward. So all these examples, what indicates that there is certain force, nothing but gravitational force, which is what? Which is due to which things are going down on the earth. So this is all about different kinds of forces we discuss. Hope you understood what is meant by contact and non-contact forces.